right now. A body blow for Democrats. The Republicans win a closely watched special election in Georgia. What does it mean for the president's agenda? And can Democrats ever regain their footing in Trump country?
Good morning and welcome to Early Start this Wednesday morning. I'm Christine Romans. First day of summer.
First day of summer?
First day of summer.
That makes me happy.
It's still dark outside, but it is going to be a long day. I promise you this will be the longest day of the year.
It will for Democrats. I'm Dave Briggs. It's Wednesday, June 21st, the first day of summer, 5 a.m. in the East. Democrats this morning searching for a new strategy after suffering defeat in a high-stakes and very high-cost special election in Georgia. There are the numbers. CNN projects Republican Karen Handel beat Democrat John Ossoff by 4 points in a district Republicans have typically won by 20-plus points. Still, enough to provide a big morale boost to Republicans who are worried about President Trump's potential to drag down GOP candidates in midterm elections next year.
Last night, after declaring victory, Handel did not minimize this president. She and her supporters embraced him. Listen.
And a special thanks to the President of the United States of America.
John Ossoff falling short despite raising $23 million in the most expensive House race in U.S. history. In conceding, he tried to paint a hopeful picture of Democratic victories to come.
This is not the outcome any of us were hoping for. But this is the beginning of something much bigger than us. It's extraordinary what you have done here. The fight goes on.
Republican Ralph Norman also won a special election in South Carolina's 5th District, the Frank Underwood seat for you watchers of Netflix. With earlier wins in Kansas and Montana, that means Republicans are now 4-0 in special elections to replace Trump appointees.
All right, let's break this down and bring in again CNN political analyst David Drucker, senior congressional correspondent for the Washington Examiner, and Bloomberg News White House reporter Shannon Pettypiece. Good morning. You know, David Drucker, I wonder if the assumption among Democrats that Donald Trump is a liability is a false assumption.
Well, I think it depends on what district you're talking about and how you want to look at this. I mean, I think Donald Trump has clearly created political turbulence for Republicans. It has made it more difficult for them, I think, to move their agenda on Capitol Hill. And I think there are districts out there where he could be a liability next year. But I also think, and I discovered this in talking to Republicans in the district earlier this month, that Republican voters look at this as a choice between a Congress led by Nancy Pelosi, who is the House Minority Leader and would be Speaker if Democrats recapture the House next year, and what they've got. And what they have is a Republican president who's willing to sign tax cut bills and health care reform bills that a Republican Congress will sign them. It's early in his administration, even for Republicans in this district that weren't as high on him, and that's always why this, among all the special elections, was the target Democrats focused on, because this was a district that had resisted Trump. He had barely won the district, even though Tom Price was reelected with 60% of the vote. These Republicans are willing to give Donald Trump a chance to perform and see if he can get it done. Let's see where Republicans and Democrats are next year. Let's see where Donald Trump is, the president, next year. Too early to make assumptions, but I do think one thing that Democrats should understand is that however Republicans feel about the president's behavior and his tweeting and various investigations, and I found a lot of unease and unhappiness about that, voters are sophisticated, and for them it's a choice, and right now they're going to stick with the president and his agenda, which they very much are in support of.
And to that point, an op-ed in President Trump's favorite newspaper, the New York Times, reads this: so a party sorely demoralized in November is demoralized yet again, and left to wonder if the intense anti-Trump passion visible in protests, marches, money, and new volunteers isn't just some theatrical, symbolic, abstract thing. Wow. Shannon, what should Democrats take away from the most expensive House loss in U.S. history?
that you need a message and you need a candidate that people want to vote for, and that just running on an anti-Trump platform and an anti-Trump agenda is not enough to get it done. You know, if you are a Republican who cares about low taxes, less government, pro-life issues, you're not voting for the Democrat. You know, if you're an independent who wants to see someone with, you know, experience or with someone who shares your values, you're not just going to vote for someone because they're against the president. I think it's a wake-up call to the Democrats. I think, though, for Republicans, I don't think they should get too comfortable because, as Dave was pointing out, it's a long way till November 2018. A lot can happen between now and then, but you know, they can't get too comfortable in this. But I think they needed to win this. The Republicans needed to win this more than the Democrats, just to hold sort of the base and hold things steady. But I think it definitely is a wake-up call to Democrats.
Shannon,